Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Defy Aging, and we are in week 9. I am Coach Allison, and I'll go through the workout with you. So this week we're going to have the workout split kind of into 2 different sections, which is something we do every once in a while. The first part is going to be an in-your-own-space routine, and it's going to be 2 exercises. The reps are designated, and I'll go over that in the demo anyway. And yeah, they're both lower body. So that'll be the majority of our lower body will be this little first section of the workout. Again, that's for 7 minutes. After that is done, we'll go into our stay on the turf for circuit rotations, like kind of more like normal. 6 stations included in that. The timing for this will be 30 seconds on and 25 seconds off. So that 25 seconds when it's your break goes pretty darn fast. So we do have to be transitioning relatively quick. I also purposely made it so that there are no floor exercises because I know it can take a little extra time to get down and up and then also move to that next station. So nothing lying on the floor this week for that reason. Anyways, 6 exercises involved in our circuit, 2 in the beginning. So we do have 8 demonstrations. Let's get right to it. All right. So the first part, that is the 7-minute in your own space. The first exercise in that is a single-legged deadlift. We do double leg deadlifts all the time. This is a single-legged deadlift. We do these occasionally. It is a lot of balance. So you can definitely do this near, like right next to a wall or a rack or anything that you can put your hand on. I would implore you to try it without a balance assistance first to improve your balance. However, if we find that we're just tipping a little bit too much and we can't even get like 1 or 2 solid good reps in there, it's totally okay to use something for balance because I'd rather get the good muscle work really involved than have the balance be really hindering being able to get much out of this. I hope that made sense. So balance assistance if needed, try it without. So we hold a weight. I like kettlebells. You can use a dumbbell if you prefer. It's just the kettlebell is just bottom loaded, so you don't have to balance it at all in your hand. Whatever side you have the weight on, so I'm holding the weight with my right hand. I'm going to be doing the work with the left leg. So most of you know typical deadlifts that we do, Romanian deadlifts like this. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to lift one leg off the floor, and I'm doing that same, it's the exact same movement, right? Just on one leg. I mean, I don't mean just like it's easy, but that's the difference. I'll show you on the side, on this side, so I guess maybe that doesn't help. So this other leg is it's off the floor. As you hinge at your hip and go down, I can't look sideways and balance. So I'm going to use the wall. See, you can use the wall. It's important. Again, we're not just rounding the back and hunching down like this. That's not a deadlift, but we're keeping the shoulder back flat, and we're hinging. As you hinge your upper body forward and down, the leg that's up should naturally go up. It's kind of all as one unit. See how I'm doing? My upper body and my leg that's in the back are all kind of moving as one unit, kind of like a fulcrum. Okay, what you don't want to do is do the deadlift, but kind of keep this one leg kinked in here. It's really hard to get that back flat when you do that. So I'm not going to spend too much more time on the demo. Coaches will go through this with you because there are a lot of nuances and a lot of cues to do with single-legged deadlifts. Your coaches will help you, but to keep this video shorter, I'm going to leave it at that. We do 6 reps on each side. 6 reps on each side. Go slow and steady. Choose a challenging weight. After that, the second exercise of this little beginning part of the workout is a jump squat. So a jump squat is exactly what it sounds like. Normal squats, look like this. If squats are new for you, the coach will work on them with you. For a jump squat, we come up with a jump. Don't worry about getting too high. We're not testing the height of your jump. Try to just get a little bit of air under those feet. So, and if you get higher, wonderful. But we're going for just lifting off the floor. Notice how I'm landing softly. So I go right down into my next squat. What can tend to happen inadvertently is some people start to kind of go like this, jump up and really just lean. So really be sure we're not doing that. Make sure it is a squat. It is a knee bend, okay? That's for 10. If we're unable to do the jumps, we're going to turn that into a fast squat. So we take the jump out and we add some speed. That'll keep that cardio capacity. It'll get the cardio up. It'll still burn the legs. So that's the other alternative there. So that is that little 7-minute beginning part. 6 reps on each side of the single-legged deadlifts, 10 jump squats, then take a rest, repeat, do that for 7 minutes. All right, so once that is done, we're going to go on to the circuit. So we have 6 exercises on the turf, 30 seconds on, 25 seconds off. So the first one is actually going to be new. It's going to be a seated side-to-side slam. So we do have a box or a bench or something to sit on for this one. Want a little bit of slack on the rope, so it shouldn't be perfectly tight like this when you start. Sit up towards the edge of the bench so you can sit up with really good posture. And then we're kind of going on either side of our lap or our legs. We're going to go up and over and kind of slam it down. It might be more comfortable to hold it up like this. You can try that if that's a little more comfortable. But go up and slam down, up and slam down. Okay, so very, very different use of the rope this week. It'll engage that core by having to sit up nice and tall. Okay, so let's give that a try, station 1. All right, station 2 is our TRX row. So we're going to go to back to basics, a standard TRX row this time, meaning standard is typically just with palms turned in, similar to our band back row from last week as far as the hand position. So palms are turned in towards one another. We pull up. Keep your body nice and straight, so we don't want to be bending at the hips like this, or we don't want to be hyperextending back, nothing like that. Release yourself back. Also in the back position, you don't want to be bending at the hips. So the body is always very straight. Don't shrug I guess I'm not in the frame. Don't shrug your shoulders, so we don't want this. And squeeze your shoulders back. See how I kind of did that? Also, don't fling yourself up like this so there's any slack in the ropes, the TRX straps. There should always be tension, so I'm going to stop right here because there's still tension. And the lower you stand, the harder it is because you're just working against gravity a little more. So many of you are very familiar with our TRX rows. That is station 2. Station 3, we're going to use the stability ball again this week. It's going to be a stability ball chest press, however. This is one we've done over the years a couple of times, not very often. So it's a little tricky to maybe get in and out of it. I recommend either holding onto the weights first, like I am now, and then kind of, also putting your hand on the ball to sit down on it, or put the weights in front of the ball, have a seat, and then grab them. But you do need to have the weights with you when you're seated on the ball. Okay, because we're going to crawl out, and this part takes a little getting used to as well because it's a lot of balance. And go as far as you need to get your head and upper back on the ball. So if I stopped here, my head is not on the ball like this, and we don't want to strain the neck. We want the neck supported. So I'm going to crawl a little bit more. Now my head is comfortably resting on the ball. You have to also engage your hamstrings and glutes almost like a hip thrust because we want to keep our body flat here. We don't want to let the hips sink down like this. So I'm going to engage these muscles here to lift my hips up. All of that is just the setup. And now we're doing our standard chest press, which we did the single arm version of last week. Okay, palms facing forward that way, towards your knees. And I think everyone knows the chest press. You can sit up with them like this when you're done. That would be my recommendation. Or you can kind of sink your hips down and clunk the weights down and then walk back up. It takes some getting used to. So maybe before we actually start the circuit, if you've never done that, give it a little test run. But it does take a little getting used to. Incline bench is going to be the alternative for that, same as last week with the single arm press where we had the incline bench for an option. That's going to be your option if the ball is, if you try it, it's just not really agreeing with you. It's a little bit of an advanced version, so give it a try, and that's going to be station 3. All right, station 4, we're going to be using a barbell this week, which we don't use very often. So it's going to be an overhead press, which we typically do with dumbbells. Let's try it with a barbell. It is a little bit different. So I think all the gyms, I'm not 100% sure, but they have these body bars with like the foam, kind of the foam wrapped bar, and they're more reasonable with the weights. I think at the gym I'm at, we have all the way down to a 5-pounder. I grabbed an 8 or a 15, and I think that here that goes up to like an 18. And then some gyms have the pre-weighted actual barbells. that go in increments of 10, usually only beginning at 20 though. So 20 might be the lowest weight you have. So each gym will be a little different there. But you remember, don't let the weight scare you because you're using both arms. So if you typically use an 8-pounder in each hand, that's 16 pounds. So I know you could do the 15-pound bar or probably the 18-pound bar. So don't let the weight scare you. You're using both arms. Or grip like this, fingernails facing forward, and we press up. So it's pretty straightforward, kind of. If the bar is light enough, you'd probably be able to press it forward like this, but we don't want to do that. Think of if you were pressing something like 50 pounds, you certainly couldn't go forward and it would just drag you down, right? So we do want to go straight up, okay? And when you go straight up, you kind of have to go around don't overdo it like a circle, but you have to kind of go around your chin and your head so you don't hit your face. And then you end by swinging the arms so they're right up overhead. Try to get fully straightened arms. See how I'm not stopping like this? I'm not doing this all the way up and then right under the chin, all the way up, right under the chin. I don't know, from the side kind of helps you see the angle of how I'm moving that bar. Okay. And there you go. Yeah, it's just very important we're not bringing it down here each time. Okay, so do stop it right here at your upper chest. That's a barbell chest press. Still the shoulders, very different feel. You can stagger your stance if you prefer. I kind of like to do that personally. I feel like it grounds me and makes me feel a little sturdier. If we go feet parallel, it's kind of tempting to lean back and arch the back, which we don't want to do. All right, kind of a new feel for a shoulder press. Give it a try. Next station, anti-rotation side steps. I think we had these like 3 weeks ago, somewhere around there. So it might be familiar for many of you. The band is anchored up to your side here. Overlap. You probably have to overlap your grip on the handle. Maybe you can stagger if you have tiny hands, perhaps. And we put the arms all the way out. Okay, see how my arms are straight? I'm not stopping them here. When I say straight, I mean straight. Okay, and we take 1, 2, maybe 3, depending on the tightness of the resistance band that you're using. You take steps out to the side, and then we control them right back in. Step 1, step 2. The farther you pull the tension outward, the more you're going to feel those oblique and side muscles of the inside side. That makes sense? As it gets harder resistance, that's when we're going to want to bend the arms in like this. Please don't do that. Keep the arms out. That's where kind of the work. If you have the arms here at your chest, this is not really very challenging. You'll still feel it, but we want these arms out. That's what is engaging more. It's creating more muscle activation. Halfway through at the 15-second mark, all we have to do is turn around and start going the other way. And I will forewarn you, the steps back in are actually harder than the steps out, which sounds counterintuitive, but so be really cautious on that way back in, not to kind of let the band pull you. All right, anti-rotation side steps. Final station is a kettlebell sumo squat. So kind of an oldie but a goodie because we've done these quite a bit. Whoops. So grab a challenging weight because the sumo squat works your hips, your glutes, your hamstrings, a little bit of your thighs. So it kind of works all of our really strong lower body muscles. And we aren't doing anything like holding the weight up. It's just dead weight hanging down, which I know you can handle. Pretty good challenging weight there. So pick a challenging weight. That's subjective, different for everybody. Legs are wide. The feet should be way farther out than your hips. Toes angled at 45 degrees. And then we go down. Notice how my knee is drifting right out in the direction of my toes. So I'm not kind of caving in like this, or if my stance is too narrow and I go wide, now my knees are going way over my toes. We don't want that. Oddly enough, if your stance is too wide, which a couple of people have done in the past, it also doesn't work because now my knees are here, so my ankle is here. And we want the alignment straight up and down. So it might take a couple of reps to find that sweet spot. You'll have a little bits of natural forward lean. Don't try to stay up perfectly straight because that won't line up the squat correctly. Don't lean excessively forward. So just a little bit of natural forward lean. And the kettlebell just remains dead weight hanging straight down. All right, that's our kettlebell sumo squat. Okay, so that wraps up week 9. FYI, heads up, week 10 is the next mobility week because we do that on all of the every 10 weeks, 10, 20, 30, 40. So week 10 will be mobility. It'll also be a new warm up and cool down because it'll be the first week of March. So the March and April warm up and cool down will be next week. So get ready for all of that stuff. In the meantime, enjoy this workout. See you back in week 10.